Howdy folks, Cal Kellogg here. It is time for our Thursday fishing report. Let me start off by telling you a quick story about this morning. Got up this morning, usually get up about 5 o'clock or so, and we've had some mountain lions in the neighborhood, so I'm not letting Lucy out in the dark. If I take her out in the dark, I gotta grab my shotgun and all that. So I've been waiting to let her out in the morning until it's good and light so I can kind of look around the property and see what's potentially lurking around. Well, anyway, I got up this morning at 5, started the coffee, blah, 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 got on the computer, 5:30 rolls around, 5:45 rolls around, it's still dark outside. And you know, you don't notice little incremental changes in the environment, but the thought struck me, hey, the days are noticeably shorter than they were just a couple weeks ago. I was letting Lucy out at 5:30 in the morning because I could see the days are getting shorter, and that means fall is right around the corner, and that is absolutely fabulous news for all the trout anglers here in Northern California and throughout the West, really, because the fall, to me, the fall is the absolute best time to go trout fishing. I think fall fishing is even better than spring fishing, which is pretty darn good. Let's talk a little bit about the trout fishing in Northern California. For me, August and February are hands down the toughest months to go out and consistently catch trout and to catch big numbers of trout. February, the water is typically at its coldest point of the entire year. And if we've had rain, the water can be, a yellow jacket here, the water can be, you know, really muddy, which kind of can hamper your efforts too. So cold, muddy water makes February tough. August is tough for me for different reasons. Right now, August into early September, that is typically when the lakes are at their richest in terms of forage. The lakes are absolutely full of bait fish, the bait fish lakes. The bug lakes are absolutely full of bugs. Folsom's a great example. I've been guiding out at Folsom. There is more bait at Folsom than I have ever seen. And the fish are feeding, the trout are feeding, but they're feeding for very short periods of time because there's so much food. Almost every trout I catch is just plugged with bait, both pond smelt and threadfin shad of various sizes. I've seen shad in trout that big. We've seen pond smelt even bigger than that, but we're also seeing some bait that is really small. I mean, stuff that is the size of a sunflower seed in the shell. So the whole range of bait sizes is there. Bottom line is the fish are settled into a pattern. They have all they want to eat all day, every day. There's no urgency to feed, so you got to be at the right place at the right time. Fishing one lake a lot really helps because you can kind of identify the areas where the fish are holding, where the fish feed, and you know, you kind of get a handle on when the fish are willing to bite, and you can put yourself, put your clients, if you're a guide, in the right place at the right time. But that's a challenge in August. You know, you got fish, they feel no urgency, they got all they want to eat. And I just read the Lake Elsinore report, and it's real typical of what you see this time of the year. They said the days are beautiful, but the best bite is right at daybreak, and then it really slows down. Well, you know, that's the highest percentage time this time of the year to encounter a feeding fish. When that light level is low, it's the coolest point of the day. Get out there, you're gonna get a few bites, and then, you know, go hiking for the rest of the day or something like that, because that bite is gonna slow down. 6 weeks from now, we're going to be singing a different tune at Lake Elsinore. Those fish are going to be biting from dawn to dusk all day, every day, because they're going to feel the urgency of fall approaching. You know, they know that they've got to feed. The cold months are coming. Just that instinctive drive to survive is going to put them on the feed for longer and longer periods of time every day as the days shorten, especially when we start getting some cooler weather and the lake temperatures start to drop. I'll talk more about trout in a second. We'll talk about the best trout bites in the state and just some more observations about trout. Kokanee are on their farewell tour. They are starting to change. They're starting to hook up at a lot of lakes. Their jaws are starting to hook up. They're starting to change color. They're starting to lose their scales and stuff like that. Bottom line is, though, kokanee fishing is still very good. Bullard's Bar, outstanding fishing, limits most days. Get out there and get after them. Stampede is producing limits for skilled kokanee fishermen, but it's slowed down. Lake Tahoe, very good fishing on fish in the 11 to 13, maybe 14-inch range. Limits every day, beautiful fish. Those fish aren't starting to turn. Those fish are chrome bright, great meat, just wonderful fish. New Maloney's still kicking out some big fish, but the numbers are dropping. Guys are catching fewer and fewer fish. Just read a report this morning. A guy was out there yesterday. He had 2 fish. They were both, 16, 17 inches long, maybe a little bit bigger. Very nice kokanee, but you're going to have to work for every strike out there, but you're going to be on big fish. Whiskeytown's still good, but again, starting to see some darker colored fish in the mix, and it's coming to an end. There's some big kokanee up there too, up to about 17 inches from what I hear. So if you're into kokanee fishing, get out there and get after them, because it's going to end soon and we're not going to get into them again until next spring. Although there's usually some winter fishing out at Bullard's Bar if you just want to get out there and get 10 fish for the smoker. Typically not very big, but they are beautiful fish, and that is a great winter kokanee fishery. Let's get back to the trout. Where is the best trout bite in the entire state right now? Easy. That is at Lake Shasta. My friend Robert Hauer, Hardcore Hauer, I call him that because he trout fishes every day. Him and his lady friend Patty are out there every day. Most of the time they're getting limits on very nice fish. Shasta is full of trout, and they are biting right now. So I'm going to say that's the #1 bite. All the usual suspects are producing fish. Comanche, Folsom. I could have had limits at Folsom my last trip. We fished one spot until about 10. We were halfway to limits at that point, and then my guys wanted to go catch some bass and they wanted to do some looking around. So we left those fish, and we never really got back on another good bite. That bite was building when we left, so it was good. It's going to be a lot better though as fall comes on. So if you got the itch to get out and get after some trout right now, go to your favorite lake, commit to investing some time. Get out there early, find some marks, maybe find some bait, stay on top of those fish, and you will be rewarded. In our Sunday video, I'm going to talk about some destinations that are must-visit destinations for me during the fall trout season. Just some places that are going to produce excellent fishing. If you want to do a trout destination trip, be sure to tune into Sunday's video, because I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite trout fishing destinations for fall. Beyond that, that's really about it. If you want to get out, beat the heat, get out there early, you could definitely get in on some trout. If you're a kokanee guy, get out there, get after those kokanee before the kokanee season ends. Stock up on gear, get ready. We've got some epic fishing ahead. And I have a quick observation. Folsom Lake is down about 8 feet over the past, say 10 days or so, something like that. It could be 7 feet, could be 9. I haven't checked the lake level, but I'm just guesstimating based on what I see out there. In that small amount of drop, I have noted significantly less clarity at the lake. Now, you might think, oh no, the lake's dropping and we have less clarity. Well, that's actually good news. It's a bummer to see the water go out of the lake. Yes, it's true. But we have plenty of water this year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have a good winter this year. But when the lake drops, it concentrates the nutrients and the clarity declines. And lessened clarity is the angler's friend, okay? Crystal clear water can make the fish finicky. They can really scrutinize that lure. They get a really good look at it. Declining clarity, they have to make a quicker decision. They don't get as good a look at your lure, and you can really kind of tune them up in water that's a little off clarity. That's one of the reasons I think Lake Davis is so easy to fish as compared to, say, Elmonor, which is clearer. Davis is murky. It's got weeds. It's got tons of nutrients. The fish just don't get as good a look at your offering. They either have to hit it or let it go. They don't really get to do that in-depth scrutiny like they do at Elmonor and some other, clear water lakes. Anyway, that's my perspective. Gear up for fall. We've got some exciting action ahead. Trout fishing's good now. It's going to be great real soon. These days are going to keep getting shorter. It's going to get cooler. Heck, I've had rain at my house every evening here for the past week in Northern California. So I think there's some exciting things ahead. I'm Cal Kellogg. Catch me here next Thursday for another fishing report. And if you want to know where I'm going fishing and also talk about some techniques, join me on Sunday. I'm going to post that video about 1 o'clock on Sunday, and we will talk trout fishing. We will talk lures, and we will talk about where to go. I'm Cal Kellogg. You have a wonderful day. We're heading back to the truck.